June 13, 2025. Sirens echo across Israel. In less than an hour, dozens of Iranian ballistic missiles streak across the sky toward strategic targets. The country enters a state of total war. But this time, the Israelis are not alone. The United States goes directly into the defense with one of the most advanced anti-missile systems on the planet, THAAD Terminal High Altitude Area Defense. A technological shield that intercepts projectiles during the terminal phase of flight, that is, when they are seconds away from hitting the ground. For 12 days, THAAD was in full swing. Sources estimate that between 15% and 20% of the entire global stockpile of interceptor missiles was used to protect Israeli territory. The impact of this decision is profound. More than $1 billion in strategic resources were exhausted in less than 2 weeks. This figure represents not only a colossal expenditure, but also a warning about the sustainability of a defense system based on extremely expensive weapons. But what exactly is THAAD? Developed by Lockheed Martin, the system does not rely on explosives to neutralize threats. It uses a technology called hit-to-kill, direct impact destruction. The interceptor missile collides with the enemy missile in mid-flight at such high speed that the force of the impact alone is enough to disintegrate the threat. This surgical precision has a clear advantage. It avoids mid-air explosions over urban centers, something vital in densely populated places like Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Each THAAD battery consists of 6 to 9 mobile launchers, each capable of carrying up to 8 interceptor missiles. This means that a single battery can keep up to 72 missiles ready for immediate launch. In addition, it features the N/TPY-2 radar, one of the most sophisticated parts of the system. It is capable of detecting threats up to 3,000 kilometers away, even at extreme altitudes, offering valuable time to react. THAAD, however, does not operate alone. It is part of a layered defense network that includes the Patriot PAC-3, which targets lower altitude threats, and the Israeli Arrow system, which can intercept projectiles outside the atmosphere. While Arrow takes care of threats in the initial phase of flight and Patriot in the intermediate phase, THAAD covers the final stage, acting as the last line of defense. During the June 2025 attacks, an estimated 60 to 80 THAAD interceptor missiles were fired. And here's the rub. Each interceptor costs between $12 million and $15 million. That means that in just 12 days, Israel and the US could have spent more than $1 billion on these missiles alone, not counting maintenance, logistics, or replacement. And most worryingly, there are only 7 operational THAAD batteries in the world. 7. This severely limits the ability to respond to multiple conflicts simultaneously. Deploying these batteries between different hotspots is logistically complex and time-consuming. If there were a crisis in Asia tomorrow or a surprise attack on the Guam base, would the US be prepared? This drastic reduction in stockpiles exposes a strategic vulnerability. The United States has invested billions in a high-tech system, but it has one obvious limitation. It is expensive, scarce, and not designed to sustain a prolonged war. The question that arises is a disturbing one. Are we better protected or dangerously vulnerable? While THAAD has proven highly effective against Iran's conventional ballistic missiles, with success rates ranging from 80% to 90%, the system has faced serious challenges when confronted with more sophisticated threats, such as hypersonic missiles. These new types of missiles have the ability to maneuver and evade, making them much more difficult to intercept. In some situations, it has been necessary to launch 3 or more interceptors against a single threat, which significantly increases costs and quickly depletes limited available stocks. This vulnerability highlights a serious technical and strategic challenge for the current defense system. In addition to technological limitations, the cost per interception is a worrying factor. Each interceptor missile costs between $12 and $15 million, and with dozens being fired in a short space of time, the financial strain is enormous. In a prolonged conflict where thousands of missiles may be launched, simply replenishing the interceptor stockpile would become a costly and logistically complex task, putting the sustainability of missile defense at risk. Another critical issue is THAAD's limited coverage. There are currently only 7 operational batteries in the world, and deploying them across multiple theaters simultaneously poses a logistical and strategic challenge. This means that if more than one region is under attack, the response could be compromised. The United States and its allies must decide where to allocate these precious assets, risking leaving vulnerable areas uncovered. To address these challenges, the THAAD system is integrated into a layered defense network. In addition to THAAD, systems such as the Patriot PAC-3 address lower-altitude threats, while the Arrow system, developed in partnership with Israel, is capable of intercepting missiles at even higher altitudes and earlier in their flight. This layered strategy multiplies the chances of successful interception, providing more comprehensive protection. However, even this approach has its limits when faced with massive attacks or advanced weapons such as hypersonic missiles. Given this scenario, a strategic dilemma arises. How can we guarantee defense against ballistic missiles with expensive systems that are limited in stock and vulnerable to new attack technologies? The answer may lie in the search for technological alternatives that are more affordable and effective in the long term. In recent years, the United States and its partners have invested in the development of directed energy weapons, such as ultra-high-power lasers. Experimental 300-kilowatt systems have already shown the potential to neutralize missiles and drones at a much lower cost than traditional interceptors. In addition, artificial intelligence is beginning to be integrated into defense systems to optimize target selection, allowing interceptors to be used only against truly critical threats, saving precious resources. Another important advance is the improvement of space sensors, which promise broader global coverage and early detection of enemy launches. With this technology, it will be possible to anticipate attacks with greater precision, gaining crucial time for coordinated responses. These innovations represent a necessary change in the face of new forms of warfare and the growing capabilities of adversaries such as Iran, Russia, and North Korea. However, while these technologies mature, the limited inventories and high costs of current systems represent a strategic vulnerability that cannot be ignored. American and allied air defenses must adapt rapidly to ensure security in an increasingly complex and threatening global environment. High spending on THAAD missiles. During the defense of Israel against Iranian attacks between June 13 and 24, 2025, the U.S. used about 15% to 20% of its global stockpile of THAAD missiles, which may have cost more than $1 billion. What is THAAD? Lockheed Martin's next-generation missile defense system, designed to intercept ballistic missiles in the terminal phase, using hit-to-kill technology without explosives. High effectiveness. THAAD achieved a success rate of 80% to 90% against conventional missiles, protecting densely populated areas with great precision and minimal collateral damage. Cost and limitation. Each interceptor costs between $12 and $15 million. During the attacks on Israeli territory, between 60 and 80 missiles were fired in just 12 days. Limited coverage. There are only 7 active THAAD batteries in the world, making it difficult to use them simultaneously in different theaters of war. Layered defense. The THAAD works in conjunction with systems such as the Patriot PAC-3 and the Israeli Arrow, forming a defense in depth against different types of missiles. Vulnerability against hypersonic missiles. The system has difficulty against more sophisticated missiles, requiring multiple interceptors to neutralize a single threat. Strategic risk. The drastic reduction in missile stockpiles casts doubt on the U.S.'s ability to maintain an effective defense in a prolonged conflict. Search for alternatives. Technologies such as directed energy weapons, lasers, and artificial intelligence are being developed to offer cheaper and more sustainable solutions. Strategic lesson. Israel's defense has shown that it is possible to contain massive attacks, but it has highlighted the financial and logistical limits of current systems when faced with adversaries with large arsenals, such as Iran, Russia, and North Korea. These words bring up a crucial reflection. Current missile defense, despite its undeniable success, cannot be seen as the ultimate solution. The conflict in Israel has made it clear that reliance on an expensive system, with limited stockpiles and vulnerable to advanced attack technologies, represents a strategic risk for the United States and its allies. The rapid and efficient deployment of THAAD systems has saved lives and prevented large-scale destruction, but at the cost of depleting a significant portion of the global arsenal. With only 7 operational batteries in the world, the U.S.'s ability to respond to multiple simultaneous conflicts is compromised. If another ally is under attack, or if the U.S. homeland itself faces a real threat, the availability of interceptors may be insufficient to provide the necessary protection. This puts national defense on high alert and reinforces the urgency of investing in complementary solutions. Therefore, the technological race for directed energy weapons and artificial intelligence represents the future of air defense. High-powered lasers, capable of neutralizing missiles and drones with much lower operating costs, are already in advanced testing phases. The integration of AI into control and target selection systems promises to further optimize the use of resources, making defense more efficient and economical. Furthermore, advances in space-based sensors could provide early and global detection, enabling faster and more coordinated responses. This would represent a qualitative leap in missile defense, expanding the ability to anticipate and neutralize threats at multiple levels. In short, the recent episode in Israel is not only a demonstration of the effectiveness of THAAD, but a warning about its limitations and the challenges of the future. Ballistic missile defense is possible, but it requires constant innovation, investment in disruptive technologies, and strategic planning to ensure security in an increasingly dangerous world. Meanwhile, the United States and its allies face the dilemma of managing expensive and scarce stockpiles while maintaining vigilance and readiness for new conflicts. The balance between cost, efficiency, and coverage will be critical for decades to come. This is the lesson to be learned. The future of missile defense depends not only on the strength of weapons, but on the intelligence in their application and the vision to invest in what lies ahead. The geopolitical scenario demands this. Technology does too. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, and stay tuned for future updates on defense and military technology. See you next time.